everybody. Hold on one second. I'm going to make sure everything's working correctly. No, it doesn't. There we go. All right. Yep. So, anyways, kind of like an update slash, what the hell's going on with our world today slash, I don't freaking know. So, as many of you guys know, I currently live in my car. I'm a type 1 diabetic, blah, blah, blah. And for some of you who don't know, of course, we're in this government shutdown. And please don't get political with me unless you understand actually what's going on and you researched it a little bit like I have. So, we know that the government's being shut down already. It's, I think, day 21 or something like that, 20 or 21. I don't remember exactly what day. And people aren't going to get food stamps next month now. That's what's been put out today. And I don't understand, please understand when I say this. When I say Democrats, I don't mean voters. I mean the people in office on the Democrat side. I don't understand why they wouldn't just sign a continuancy that was put forth by the Republicans with a stricter spending budget temporarily while they figure it out. So now, not only are people not going to get paychecks that work for the government, now pretty soon families are not going to be able to eat. And me, personally, I depend on that because things are slow right now, and I need that to eat, and not having food is going to be something that's not exactly feasible for me. And, they put a continuancy out, but the Democrats will not budge unless they get their $1 trillion spending bill, which is ridiculous. We've gone completely, I hate to be political, I really do, but I'm not necessarily a Republican. With some of it too. I'm more of what I would consider, I guess, more of an independent because I'm more of pro what helps America, and us spending millions and billions of dollars going to other countries does not. If you look at our streets and, being homeless, you run into a lot of people who are, also homeless and reasons why they became homeless. And a long time ago, most of it was because of, mental health issues and drugs or alcohol. But a lot more, and our families are being affected by it just because, the lack of income coming in. You have people who say people don't want to work anymore. I don't think that's the case at all, and I think you're looking at it completely wrong. People want to work nowadays, but they don't want to work for $20 an hour, which back in the day was great. But $20 an hour, before taxes, you work 40 hours, that's $800. You're going to bring home 600. So that's, 6, 12, 18, 2,400 bucks a month, when an apartment's going to cost you 1,500 bucks a month. That's not including all your other bills on it, which is going to be about another $800. That doesn't leave you money for food, insurance, and all these other things. People want a sustainable living. You can't expect somebody to want to work and struggle and bust their ass just to not be able to live. If we were raising minimum wage does not help. We had minimum wage at $7.25, and life was okay. People could afford to work, and minimum wage is just that. It's the minimum wage, for people learning to start working, people who are going out there. You're not supposed to, no offense, but McDonald's isn't a long-term career unless you guess you're getting in management or something like that. But even then, it's just not, it's not feasible unless you're high up there. Hold on, sorry, I didn't bring stories to. I'll have to read that after. My eyes are horrible. I have type 1 diabetes. My sugar is pretty high, so it makes it hard to read. But I'll definitely read that later. I'll have to zoom in or something to read it. But anyways, what I was saying, it's like, people want to work. People want to be out there. People want to do things. But there's no point of it if you're just going to be doing that to not make it. And raising minimum wage does not help because then people just raise their prices. We need better control on these landlords and these, greedy people who are charging the amounts. And like I said, I've personally met landlords who have jacked their rent up $600 just because too many people were interested in it lower, and they want the top dollar for something they could have sustained and made a good income off of on something lower. And it just boggles my mind exactly how bad we've gotten, how horrible, greed has gotten, that it literally, if you're not rich, you can't make it. And that's why I choose, people say, why don't you go get a job? Why am I going to go get I have a job. I have my company. And whether it's busy or not right now doesn't mean anything. I'm not getting work right now, but why am I going to go stop that to work for a company that's going to pay me $22 an hour, $23 an hour, and I'm still not going to be able to get out of my situation? You have to work for yourself nowadays in order to make it, until we figure out what's going on and why we can do this. But like I said, with the government shutdown happening, and like it or not, this is completely on the Democrats side. That we had the Republicans have made a contingency saying, hey, let's talk for 7 more weeks. We'll have a limiting spending, but the government stay open and people will still get their food stamps. People, military people will get paid, all this. The same contingency Biden used, by the way. And like I said, I'm not a Republican or a Democrat, but this is 100% on the Democrats. Um, and they even refused a bill to help pay the military, just to pay them. Like, I don't get it. Like, I don't get why all these people are protesting and doing all these things on the wrong side. It should be the Republicans protesting. Why are you holding up funding for Americans? Why are you letting people starve? Why are you not signing a contingency that will help Americans? Why do you care more about other countries? And to look at where that money's going is crazy. As a person, I really suffer from it, because if next month I don't, that means I get nothing. I'm not going to have food. I'm not going to be able to do anything. And I'm a type 1 diabetic, and my life depends on food. It's pretty sad. And hopefully I'll find work, and hopefully things will kick up. And I know I got winter work coming up, but people don't understand. Like, they follow what's trending, like this whole little stupid suit thing that the people are wearing at the protest now. That's all came from Portland, Oregon, because the president declared Antifa as a terrorist organization. There's a difference between what Antifa means and the Antifa, the group. And they started, showing up in these little costumes to theoretically make it look like they're all peaceful. But if you watch even one stream that I've streamed out of the live protest of them, they are far from peaceful. And you can't. That was no editing. That was 100% live. So it's like, I don't get it. Like, our country has deserted us, and and I'm, like I said, I'm not trying to be political, but this is on the Democrats, and the right have done some bad shit too. I'm not saying they haven't, but this shutdown and families not being able to eat. They say, how dare Trump cut all these people off of main care and food stamps and all that, but yet they're cutting everyone off. They're okay to cut every single person off. Nobody's getting food stamps. If they don't open it back up, which it doesn't look like they're going to, nobody's eating that are lower income, and that's children, that's your grandmother, that's your grandfather, that's your great grandchildren. It's sad. And this world's struggling. I mean, I can't seem to I have to come up, if I was to move into a place, I'd have to come up with like $4,500. That means I gotta have to work at a crap job for 2 months. Why in my car, not eating, not that's without doing anything. That's without paying any bills, without eating, without spending any money at all, and that's not feasible. So it's not, especially with winter coming up. I have to do this. This is the only way I'm going to make it, is working on my company, and trying to get into an RV at least, so I don't freeze in this little car. You know, this is what I sleep in. This tiny little thing. It's a, I sleep sitting up pretty much. I go back as far as my seat can go, but I got a pressure washer back there. I got all my painting stuff. I got everything. And I'm supposed to get a storage unit, but then I'm like, crap. What happens if I don't? What if I can't? Get work this month? Then I lose everything in my storage. You know, it's just sad to see what we become, and who we are as a society. We care more about protesting over stop the crack. First of all, I don't do drugs. I don't have teeth because my medication. So stop being a little douchebag and come say that to my face, because it's so much easier to say over here. So yeah, go fuck yourself. Anyways, it's just like a stupid comment made me lose my mind. Anyways, we really need to do better. it's just stupid. We can sit there and we can, protest, like I said, about things that aren't going to change anything. Those No Coat Kings protest. Oh, stop the crack again. Look at this little wannabe over here. You know what? I'm at Walmart in Brunswick, Maine, and if you have any balls, you'll come over here and say it to my face. If not, shut your fucking mouth, because you're a little bitch. Anyways, sorry. People like that are fucking retarded. But, anyways, so back to my little story. That little whatever little moron. Actually, hold on one second. I think I can do it. This one. Hold on one second. I gotta go to my YouTube and block this guy because he's a piece of shit. Alright, let's see. And then we go here. And here. And I don't even know how to do this. Your videos. Lives. That's not even pulling up. Whatever. I don't even care. Anyways. But you can say what you want. I'll block you later. And it's just stupid, Like, I think we can do it. Like, people want to work. People want to do things. People want to have a better society. People want to, live. And people also want to be little douchebags. And it's such a shitty world we live in. Like I'm coming here talking about people suffering, and you got little morons in chat saying stupid shit. Little morons that wouldn't do it in front of your face. It's funny. But, you know what? I had my whole drug experience my whole life was 2 months of my whole life, and that was 2 years ago. And I'm proud to be clean. I'm proud to not do anything. I bust my ass every day, and I try to do what I do, and I make my life work. And it might not be the greatest right now, but you know what? Well, I appreciate that. But it's like, I just, man, that person, like, just stupid people like that, seriously. Like, I'm not out here trying to hurt anybody. I'm not out here trying to do anything. But be, be supportive and trying to help figure out why the shit we have to go through. I mean, it's like we shouldn't be here as a nation. We shouldn't have to suffer. We shouldn't have to know where we're going to sleep. We shouldn't have to. Everybody deserves a home. Everybody deserves to know we're going to get they're going to get their next meal. Everybody deserves to be alive. And we've got so many, like I said, so much hate in this world. Like, like we have assassinations now. We have all this crap going on. When did we become this? When did we become people who, sit there and troll people or sit there and mock people's deaths or make stupid, rude comments or, protest things that aren't going to change things, but, when the other side does it, it's perfectly fine. It's stupid. We can, we need a whole lot more help. Like I said, we don't have a homeless crisis. We have a mental health issue crisis. We have if you're on YouTube and you go to my the description, it should have everything right there. My PayPal and Cash App. And I do appreciate it. If not, it's the cash symbol Bergstrom is BERGSTROM, the Nick NICK. But anyways, it's like I'm still like getting used to this, and I haven't used a whole lot of social media before. But I just think that, I don't know, I just think we live in a crappy world right now, and I wish I could see this chat better, but my eyes, like I said, I'm a type 1 diabetic, and my sugars have been really high. I'm crashing down right now, actually, I think. Let me check. So, like, this is my day, and it's 172 isn't bad, but I was up pretty high earlier, and it's just fucked with my vision, so whenever you go high, it takes a couple days, because I was at 400 most of the day yesterday. But I just think, I don't know, I think we need to make, there's a whole lot of reasons we can protest right now, and a lot of it should be against these landlords that are corrupt, the government that isn't funding like they should be over stupid things, like a $1 trillion bill that the left won't, open the government, so now people have to Well, God bless you. Um, but people have to, people have to understand that, like, what are we fighting for? What are we doing? You know? But it's just sad. I don't even know what to say anymore. It's just, But anyways, that's my little rant. But I think we should, really work on trying to get a lot more help because, I'm lucky enough to have my car, even though it's breaking down, and I'm trying, like I said, I'm trying to work on getting an RV or whatever. But it's stupid, Like I can't, there's so many people worse off, and there's no help for anybody here in Brunswick. we've got a few shelters. They're all pretty much full, unless you want to go to the drug-ridden ones. And I don't like to be around drugs. I'm not a person who wants to go hang around that, so I don't go to the ones in the big cities. But there is one here, and that's pretty full, and you can't. It's almost impossible to get in. And it's just, there's no help. But they built how many? They built like 4 or 5 buildings over here for the legal immigrants, and filled those up and gave them free rent. And I've worked my whole life up to last year. I owned my own company, and I was doing very well. I was making a grand a day. I was out there busting my butt, and I own a company out in Cocoa, Florida. Look it up. It's called Wicked Good. No, I'm sorry, that was my company here. It's called Good Riddance Junk Removal in Cocoa, Florida, and Wicked Good Cleanouts in Maine. I ran those for 4 years in Maine and 4 years in Florida. Did very well for myself. I fell in love with a girl, and my life crashed. It completely destroyed everything, and I'm trying to rebuild. And there's just no help. So people who always say, "Hey, just go to a shelter, go get help," what do you want to be around? What would you subject yourself to? I'm safer in this car. Um, I don't want to be around stupid shit. I don't want to be around drama. I don't want to be around drugs. I don't want to be around alcohol. My dad was a very bad alcoholic. I just want to survive and build this company up and get out of my situation. And for that, I need, a van or I'm either going to try to get a van or an RV or something I can at least, sleep in and carry my tools with me and figure it out, But this government shutdown is going to screw a lot of people over, and I just hope everybody's ready for that because and when you vote, make sure you remember that in mind because it's horrible what's going on right now, and I just can't stand it. And anybody wishing to debate with me on that, you can message me anytime they want, and I would love to chat with you about it. But anyways, that's it for now. I'm probably going to go live again tonight, but that's it for now. Now, how the hell do you end this thing? Aha, there it is.